Good morning. I am Dr. B. Krishna Reddy, Principal of Samala Krishna Agricultural Polytechnic College, Tangallavaripalli, near Mudivedu, Tamballapalli Mandal, Chittoor district. Today, we are going to start lecture number 4 in Engineering Chemistry subject for Diploma in Agriculture Engineering students. The lecture number 4 deals with source of organic compounds, role of organic compounds in agriculture. First, let us see the source of organic compounds. Organic compounds are obtained from natural sources and are also prepared by synthesis in laboratories. That means organic compounds are not only obtained from natural sources, especially from plants and animals, and they are also synthesized in laboratories. The natural source of these substances may be traced to either plants or animal kingdom. That is, these are the products of animals or plant species. Source of organic compounds. So you can see the classification. First, natural organic compounds. Second one is laboratory synthesis. From the natural, you can divide into two types, that is organic substances derived from plant kingdom. The other one is organic substances that are derived from the animal kingdom. Now we will see various organic compounds based on the sources. First, let us see main source of this organic compounds is plants. That is organic compounds which are directly derived from the plant species. Examples are, that is the compounds obtained from the plants directly are sugars. You know that sugars is obtained from either sugarcane or from the beet sugar. Then starches, then celluloses, citric acid, oxalic acid, tartaric acid, indigo. Indigo means neeli, oils, vitamins, etc. All these products are compounds which are inorganic in nature or obtained from the plants directly. Second source is the animals. Example of the compounds that are obtained from the animal sources are fats, proteins, urea, uric acid, vitamins, hormones, etc. Coming to the third source, that is wood distillation. That is, wood is nothing but a plant product, and this wood, when this wood is distilled, then certain type of organic compounds are formed. They are acetic acid, methanol, and acetone. Fourth one is the coal tar distillations. When coal tar is distilled, various organic compounds are obtained. They are benzene, toluene, naphthalene, carbonic acid, creosotes, pyridine, dyes, perfumes, drugs, etc. The fifth source is natural gas and petroleum distillations. Example of these compounds are alkenes and their derivatives such as methyl chloride, chloroform, methyl alcohol, ethyl alcohol, allyl chloride, etc. Finally, the sixth source of organic compounds is fermentation process. This is a process where various cereal grains are fermented using the yeast to prepare various beverages, and the products that can be obtained are ethyl alcohol, amyl alcohol, and acetic acid, etc. Students are expected to read these sources, understand, and try to remember for the purpose of examinations. Next, role of organic compounds in agriculture. So the organic compounds are used in many areas. Now we see what is the role of these organic compounds in the field of agriculture. In agriculture, organic compounds are used as fertilizers and pesticides. You know what is a fertilizer? These are actually two types. One is organic fertilizer and the other one is inorganic fertilizers. These are the fertilizers, means these are the nutrients that are being supplied to the crop plants for getting the good yields. These fertilizers are mainly divided into two categories: organic fertilizers, the other one is inorganic fertilizers. Fertilizer is any organic or inorganic material of natural or synthetic origin that is added to the soil to supply one or more plant nutrients essential to the growth of a plant. That is, for good growth of the plants, we supply certain materials known as fertilizers for the purpose of supplying the required nutrients for the plant growth. Mined inorganic fertilizers have been used for many centuries. That is, since very long period, the fertilizers were basically mined from the land, and these mined fertilizers are inorganic in nature. They used to be applied as a fertilizers in the agriculture. Whereas subsequently, chemically synthesized inorganic fertilizers were also widely developed, especially after industrialization. During the Industrial Revolution, so when the Industrial Revolution took place, so many industries came into existence, and they started synthesizing or manufacturing the chemical fertilizers. Increased understanding and use of fertilizers were important part of the industrial green revolution of the 20th century. For example, ammonium nitrate and urea. So what happened during the green revolution in the 20th century? So when the green revolution came in agriculture, the varieties, hybrid varieties, are very responsive to the fertilizers like ammonium nitrate or urea, which were produced in the industrial revolution due to the progress in the industrial revolution. That is helped the green revolution also, because these hybrid varieties which are developed during the green revolution are very responsive to the fertilizers compared to the ordinary varieties. So in fact, the industrial revolution has helped the green revolution in getting the agriculture production. Then comes the organic fertilizers. Those fertilizers which are derived from organic plants and animals matter is called as organic fertilizers. Organic fertilizers means these are the materials that has been obtained from the plant or animal matter. For example, urea. Urea is can be obtained through plant animal sources, but at the same time it is mostly synthesized in the industry in a synthetic manner. Then organic fertilizers, another example is manure. Manure is nothing but decomposed or undecomposed form of animal residues or plant residues. Then compost. Compost is a decomposed material of crop residues. So among these three organic manures which we have mentioned, that is urea, manures, compost. Urea is widely used one. Urea or carbamide is an organic compound with a chemical formula of CONH2 twice. So this is also important. The chemical formula for urea is CONH2 twice. Students are expected to remember this formula also. The molecules has two NH2 group joined by a carbonyl group, that CO group, which is a functional group. It is colorless, that is urea is a colorless, odorless solid material. I think most of the students who are hailing from the rural areas, that is who knows the agriculture background, might have seen the urea granules which are manufactured in the industries. They will look like a white and with a little ammonia smell. But the pure urea is a colorless and odorless. Although the ammonia that it gives off in the presence of water, including water vapor in the air, has a strong odor. So, though urea basically is a colorless and odorless solid, when it comes in contact with air or water, it emanates ammonia gas that gives a strong ammonia odor. It is highly soluble in water and practically non-toxic. So this urea is very much soluble in water. More than 90% of the world production of urea is destined for use as a nitrogen releasing fertilizers. So one important thing which the students should remember and appreciate is that more than 90% of the urea that is being produced in the world is finally end up using in as a nitrogen releasing fertilizer in the field of agriculture. That means though urea has some other industrial uses, 90% of the urea produced in the world is used as a fertilizer in agriculture as a source of nitrogen. Urea has the highest nitrogen content of all the solid nitrogenous fertilizers in common usage. One more important thing about the urea is that urea is one of the solid nitrogenous fertilizers used in agriculture, and this has highest percentage of nitrogen compared to any other solid nitrogenous fertilizers that is being used in the field of agriculture. Therefore, it has the lowest transportation cost per unit of nitrogen nutrient. So, when the concentration is more, which means the handling cost or the transportation cost and even the storage cost will also, if it is expressed in terms of unit of nitrogen nutrient, then it will be very low compared to any other fertilizers. For example, let us consider that nitrogen percentage in area is say between 45 to 50%. For your easy understanding, let us consider it as 50%. There is some other fertilizer which has say there is 25% of nitrogen in that fertilizer. Then what happens? To supply say 100 kilos of nitrogen, one need to apply 200 kgs of urea. Whereas in the fertilizer where there is only 25% nitrogen, to supply the same 100 kgs of nitrogen nutrient, one need to apply 400 kgs of that fertilizers. That means for a farmer to apply a given quantity of nutrient, nitrogen nutrient, in case of urea, the amount of urea that need to be purchased, transported, stored and used in the agriculture will be less, because only two for supplying 100 kg nitrogen. In case of urea, the farmer need to handle only 200 kgs of urea. Whereas if if another fertilizer contains only 25%, then he has to handle 400 kgs of that fertilizer to get the same quantity or the 100 kgs of nitrogen nutrient. I think you understood it well. Okay. Then inorganic fertilizers. These fertilizers which are derived from inorganic matter is called as inorganic fertilizers. Examples of ammonium nitrate, calcium nitrate, potassium nitrate, etc. Okay. Now we have studied about organic fertilizers and inorganic fertilizers while discussing the organic compounds that are being used in the field of agriculture. Then there are so many organic substances which are used as a pesticides. Up to now what we studied is the organic substances used as a fertilizers in the field of agriculture. Now we will see what are the other uses of some other organic substances in the field of agriculture. They can be used as a pesticides. What is a pesticide? Any substance intended for preventing, destroying or controlling any pest, including vectors of human or animal diseases, unwanted species of plants or animals causing harm and interfering with the production, processing, storage, transport, or marketing of the food, agricultural commodities, or substances which may be given to animals for the control of pests on their bodies. See, it is such a big utility. Pesticides means what is a pest first? Pest can be an insect, that is any type of animal, any type of living thing from the animal kingdom, or a plant species like a weed. Okay, that these things which are harmful to the crop plants by interfering in their production or processing. Even the agriculture materials after harvesting will get processed. During processing also, some plant or animal species may interfere or damage. That is especially say storage pests. And in their marketing, at any stage of agricultural production, starting from production till the marketing, if any animal or plant pests are interfering, then it is then they are called as the pests for that agricultural produce. So also used as substances applied to crops either before or after harvesting to protect the commodity from deterioration during storage and transport. These pesticides means these are the substances that are used during the crop production. That is, when there is any pest either from the plant species or from the animal species that affect the growth and production of the crop plants, then after harvest also to store this agricultural produce and to market it. There may be some other pests and diseases which interfere in this process. Controlling these pests or to prevent it, these materials can be used as a prophylactic measure also. That is, before getting the attack of pests and diseases, these chemicals can be used. So pesticides, now I think you understood it. It is a substance which is used at any stage of agriculture with the purpose of protecting the crop plants and protecting the crop produce in storage and transportation till it get marketed. These are the substances called pesticides. In pesticides also organic compounds are used. Then herbicide. Herbicides are also known as weed killers. So pesticide is a very broad terminology compared to the herbicide. Herbicide is a material which can be organic in origin or it can be inorganic, which is used to kill the weeds. Pesticides used to kill the unwanted plants. Weed is nothing but an unwanted plant. When unwanted plant in the crop fields is killed by using a chemical either from organic source or from the inorganic source, then it is called as a herbicide. Selective herbicides kill specific target while leaving the desired crop relatively unharmed. Why they are telling relatively unharmed is crop is also one type of crop is also a plant and this weed is also a plant. Though there are certain herbicides which are specific target herbicides, that is they will kill certain type of weeds leaving the crop relatively unharmed. So relatively means in comparison with the adverse effect of these chemicals on the weed species, it will not harm much to the croplands. That means whenever these herbicides are used, there will be some side effect on the crop plants also. But compared to the benefit that is going to be derived by removing the weeds, this slight side effect is actually bearable. So that is why they say that the selective herbicides kill specific targets, weeds, while leaving the desired crop relatively unharmed. Okay. Then example of these herbicides, and they are also called as weedicides, is 2,4-D, that is 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid, popularly known as 2,4-D. Kindly uh, remember this weedicide name in full and its abbreviation form also. 2,4-D means 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid is a common synthetic herbicide. This is not organic, this is a synthetic herbicide used in the control of broadleaf weeds. It is a very popular weedicide used against the broad-leaved weeds. It is one of the most widely used herbicide in the world and the third mostly used in the North America, that is USA. So in 1987, the International Agency for Research on Cancer, that is IARC, concluded that 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid be classified as a class 2B carcinogen, that is possibly carcinogenic to humans. Actually, this organization known as IARC has found out that this 2,4-D herbicide or the weedicide, which is very popularly used worldwide, is having carcinogenic properties. That means this has got character of causing cancer in the human beings. Next, insecticides. An insecticide is a pesticide used against insects. So we already informed that pesticide is a broader term. That is, pest means the organisms which adversely affect the crop is called a pest. It can be an animal or a plant. So in the pesticides, if the pest is an insect, then the chemicals used against that pest, which is an insect, is called as an insecticide. Insecticides are used in agriculture, medicines, industries, and the household also. So in the household also, to kill the cockroaches, we use the some sort of chemicals. Okay, that is in the popular market, it is heat or something. It is also an insecticide. So the chemicals may be from organic source or can be from inorganic source. If it is used to kill an insect pest, then it is known as insecticide. Then fungicide. So fungus is also one type of pest. Okay, if the pest is a fungus, then the chemical used specifically against the fungus is named as fungicides. That means we can say that pesticides include weedicides, insecticides, and fungicides. So what the student need to understand is that pesticide is a broader term. In the pesticide, if material is used to kill the insect, then it is an insecticide. If it is used against the weed, it is called weedicide. And if it is used against fungus, then it is called as fungicide. Okay, clear? So fungicides are the chemical compounds or biological organisms. Sometimes even the Some other biological organisms can be used to kill or to control the fungus that is affecting the croplands. So, when we say fungicides, it need not necessarily be a chemical compound, it can be a biological organism. For example, Bacillus thuringiensis is a bacterial organism which is used, fungus, which is used to kill the bacterial disease in cotton. That means that type of biological organisms which are used to kill the fungus that is affecting the croplands is also called as fungicide. So fungicides are chemical compounds or biological organisms used to kill or inhibit the fungus or fungal spores. So fungus gets its nourishment from other living or non-living things. As we know very well, this fungus will live on non-living things like bread and other food materials, or on food grains, or on a living plants. It can cause serious damage in production of the crops. That is, if the fungus attacks the crop, then crop growth will affected and the yield will get reduced. Or the quality of agricultural produce, if affected by the fungus in storage, it spoils the quality also. So, resulting in critical loss of yield and quality, and thereby it will adversely affect the profits. So, with this, today we are concluding lecture number 4, which dealt with the source of organic compounds, role of organic compounds in agriculture, etc. So, thank you very much.